Mr. Markland with Unlimited Possibilities Martial Arts. In this video, I just wanted to go over something really simple. We're going to go over form versus uses and also uses of a particular technique. Okay, so I want to start off this video just basically talking about form, right? So the form of the move, sometimes we say the technique of the move. Really, the technique is the use, like how you use the move, the technique, or how you use a combination of moves. There's some people that might argue that a technique has to do with a combination of moves, and those arts are usually like Filipino martial arts or something like that, where you have to have a strung together certain amount of moves so that you can get to a particular destination. But what we're going to talk about is we're just going to be real simple and just talk about like one or two moves. Because elbow is such a good, strong technique, we're going to use the elbow, okay? So we're going to start off, when you do an elbow, there's the form of the elbow, right? So elbow strike, typically the best way to do an elbow strike is from behind. That's where you're going to generate the most power when you're doing one, right? So when we talk about an elbow strike, we want to talk about starting from way back here, right? So if I'm facing this way, then starting from way back here, I want to cover, because I like the tight elbows especially. I like how they cover for their movements. So we're going to cover in the front here with our front hand, and we're going to bring this elbow across where we can come straight across. That would be more like a karate elbow, right? That'd be more like a karate elbow. Or a tie elbow, most of the time it's going to either come down. You can still go across with a tie elbow. It's a little different if you go across, but primarily those like to cut down or up, or all kinds of different angles. But starting off, basic tie elbow, usually going to cut down, okay, using gravity to give you even more power for that technique. So when we're talking about the form of it, we're talking about how the body can do the technique and maintain the most amount of weight distributing into the target, okay? So weight and then speed, velocity, okay, how fast it can go into the target. Those two main things, okay, penetration is the other one, but those two main things is what starts you on your path to be able to develop power and actually strike hard, right? So we're gonna start right here. And if we're talking about just the form, this is what gets us to the place where we need to be. So the form is, I step, I shift my body, and I'm going to bring this elbow, and I'm going to twist my hips, which adds another form of power, which is called torquing power. We won't talk about that too much today, but I'm going to turn, and I'm going to strike through my target, okay? So if I'm facing this way, I come here. This is the form, right? So I'm coming here, I'm doing it. The form teaches you, like I said, how to start earning, how to start gaining power, how to keep your balance whenever you're striking, blah, blah, blah. The next piece is obviously you want to hit something, right? So that will show you how much power you actually have. And that's your tester, okay? So striking a pad, something like that, that will help to help you evaluate whether your technique is correct, all right? Okay, so like I said, there's form, and then there's uses of the technique. So we're going to talk about elbow uses. And there's many uses, there's many different ways that you can actually use the elbow. And when I say elbow, I'm not just talking about different technical uses, like up, down, sideways, you know what I mean? Back elbow, up. I'm not really talking about those. What I'm talking about is striking uses, okay? So you can break it down into two basic, the easiest way to think about it. So there's violent striking use, and there's non-violent striking use. Okay, so the violent striking use would be what we were kind of doing just then. You're trying to get as much power and penetration and speed into the target, whatever that target is. Okay, so that would be the violent one, all right? Maybe explosive power, that sort of thing. Non-violent one would be something like you do an elbow to press somebody off, or you do an elbow to create space so you can tell somebody to step back, right? So you're not doing this striking elbow. You're just using your elbow a little bit different, right? Pushing someone off. A lot of times in jiu-jitsu, they say create a frame. This is still using the forearm, which is similar to using the elbow. So it's the same kind of idea where you can like push somebody off. In Tai Chi, they use the elbow. They call it elbow technique, but they use the elbow to help push. Like when they're doing push hands or when they're doing changing hands, that sort of thing, they'll use the elbow to push off or the elbow to flow so that they can get to a place where they can yield and then pull the person off balance, that sort of thing. So the elbow has lots of different types of uses. Not that we're just talking about elbow, but that's the one I decided to do today because it's simple. But anyway, so you've got the pushing use of the elbow, and you've got the violent, striking, penetrating use of the elbow. Those are some different ways, and it's not just elbow, but you can do that with any kind of technique. You can do that with front kick, side kick, any kind of technique that you want to do, punch, palm strike, or palm heel strike, any of those you can do this with. So very important to kind of understand. I just wanted to make a video on understanding the difference between a power striking and why we have form, because form is what gets us to those different places, right? So if we have correct form for a violent elbow, then we're going to be here, we're going to shift our weight forward, we're going to step probably to get more penetration into the target, and then we're going to turn our hips and we're going to go fast and elbow right through the target. Okay, so that's that type of violent type of elbow. And then we've got the elbow where we just push, where maybe we just push them, or we use this part, the top part of the arm, and we can push this way. Okay, I have to have another person so you can see how valuable that is. But anyway, you can push here, or you can push them away, or you can come here and just push them with your elbow instead of striking violently. So, and that can happen, like I said, in any technique. You can really use that. In Thai boxing, they use the teep. You can use that as an actual strike, or you can use it to push the person off of you. Either way, it doesn't matter. So anyway, so that's our video for today, and we will be back probably with a few more videos. Hopefully, I'm trying to do more videos on our YouTube page. So anyway, that's our video for today, and hopefully we'll see you guys on the next video.